Angie Martinez in Real Life Podcast. I mean, it's Alicia Keys.
Hey! Look at this space. It
Welcome
looks so
to
good,
my
girl.
space today. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
My little IRL podcast.
I love it.
Are you into it?
I love talking to you.
Thank
I love your
you.
energy. Everybody
Thank
loves
you.
your energy. That's something that's so special. So yes, I do love it, and congratulations.
Thank you, baby. Congratulations to you. First of all, we're gonna start with you. I am excited about my podcast, but first and foremost, last night, I wish there was somebody in the room who could just testify to what I saw last night, which is your new, what are you, the executive producer, play, what is it? What is
First of all, it's a musical.
That's a musical.
I would be the lead producer for the musical. I'd also be the composer, and I'd also be the conceptualizer of this.
And
this
subject.
musical. Correct. It is loosely based on my experiences growing up in New York.
The whole thing is so good. I want to talk about it more and more like specific, but it took me immediately to little baby young Alicia.
Hey.
Diaries on 20 year anniversary.
20
My
joints.
son is 20. That's
This is
nuts.
crazy.
So it's like Diary is in college right now.
Diary is going to college.
No, it's been in college, third year in
my fault.
college.
All right, I said it's
Diary
30.
is graduating college next year.
Whoa.
I know. Are you like a whole different person from then?
Definitely, I'm a new person.
Yeah.
Of course, I've grown so much. I know so much. I was for sure a baby. I was definitely entering my beginnings of my womanhood, but I was still so insecure, so vulnerable.
Were you? You never
Yeah.
gave that. You always showed up like,
That was my trick.
yeah.
That was wasn't it yours?
It still is. What do you
Like,
mean?
you gotta, like-
I still show up when I am more centered and I do have more sense of purpose. So that gives you confidence and that gives you, and
Yeah.
so I can block out noise better. But I still have moments of like,
Totally, 1000%.
you got to still show. We know how to show up, but we need to show up. We still have moments, no?
Yeah.
Or you don't? Or
Yes.
you all the way got it together?
No, nobody all the way has it together, and
Yeah.
every day is different. You know what I mean? But I definitely have it together more than I had it together then.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank God,
Thank God.
please, we need to grow somehow.
What do you think the biggest difference is, though? What do you think?
The biggest difference is that at that time, I really felt like I had to be validated by people. I felt like I had to be accepted. People had to agree with me, or people had to accept what I thought for it to be good. And now I don't,
So you look for opinions from everybody? And,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I
that
was
stuff.
the opinion seeker.
What do you think?
Do you
What
like
do
it?
you
Do you like it? 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 And if enough people liked it, I liked it. If enough people didn't like it, I also didn't like it. And it's like at some point you gotta like think what you think and feel how you feel, and you gotta stand behind it and stand for it. And so that's
for you.
that's what I think is the biggest difference for me now.
Was there ever some like amazing song that everybody didn't like and you knew it was great and you never put it out and left us it's still sitting in a vault somewhere?
I would say, no, I don't.
No.
I mean, maybe, but people did feel that way about Fallen, believe it or not.
What do you mean?
People didn't understand Fallen at first.
Who's these people? Which people?
I'm just saying.
Where are they?
I'm telling you.
Who are these people you speak of?
Who are these people?
Where are they? Can we call them now? Put them on the screen. Let's see their faces.
Did you?
Is
it true?
Like label people or like friends or
You
what?
know, I think probably if I would bring it back to it, I would definitely say it was more on the label side, more on the business side. It was a risk. If you think about it, Fallen was actually a risk. It didn't fit into the style of music that was happening at the time, and it was different.
Yeah.
Most of my music is always different. With Diary of Alicia Keys, it was You Don't Know My Name. That was a risk. You Don't Know My Name wasn't like the sound at the time.
What was the sound at the time? I don't remember I don't know. I don't even know what was that.
But I remember You Don't Know My Name.
Yeah,
So who cares?
Facts.
But the point is, I think that a lot of times, people like to do and encourage you to do what's already been done. It's like rare that people will tell you, hey, take a chance. Try something new, try something different. It's very rare that people get behind that mentality. But But I'm glad that I was never, I always went with what felt good in my heart. And that's always been my guiding light.
Yeah, thank God. Opinions are everywhere.
Wow. Especially now,
Out
more
here.
than ever. I don't even know how kids function today.
I wondered that for you, because you still are very active and you very, even in socials and stuff, you engage, you share.
Right.
Share a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Your family, Swiss is always sharing something.
He's the sharer of all sharers.
I feel like he probably pushes you to share more than you would have had you guys not been a couple.
I think he's actually really good at it. I think that the way that he does it and the way that he shares is so genuine, and he shares like what feels right, and it really does feel right, and it feels unique, and it feels like special.
Yeah.
So he's really good at it.
Yeah.
I hit him a lot like, what do you think about this? He'd be like, nah, not that. I was like, okay.
He was there last night at the
Hell's Kitchen.
He was so proud of you, and Genesis was there. He loves the musical.
This was the first time Genesis saw the show, and he's so upset that I have to go, and to New York, and to travel, and to always be there to make sure it's perfect.
Yeah.
And so one day he was like, "You don't even want to spend time with your kids. All you want to do is go to your stupid play." And I was like, "Hey, that's not nice, man. I don't call any of your things stupid." And so he was like, "Well, that's all you want to do." And I said, "I know that you just miss me. I know that's what that means. You want me to stay, and I want to stay too." You know what I mean? But I'm really proud of what I'm working on, and you'll see how much you're gonna like it. So when he came yesterday, it was the first time that he saw it after feeling, the normal feelings that a kid feels when you have to let your parent go. It's hard. And when he was there and just riveted and just looking at every question, "Mom, that's that? When's the mother coming back? Mom, when's the?" He had thousands of questions. Swiss was like, "If he don't be quiet, can you tell him to be quiet?" Because he's loud.
He's so into you, though.
Man,
I saw the little video of him protecting you at the concert, your security, and then there was another one where he didn't want you to show too much boob. And
that's my favorite one.
That's pretty good. That's your favorite one.
Really gonna do this, Mom?
What's wrong?
The heart!
It's cool.
So everybody can see your boobs?
They can't, they just see a heart.
I've never seen somebody do that.
Well, you're only 8. The worst is gonna be is this.
Okay, how about we do this? How about we do this?
You do the top. It's not a big deal. It's boobs. Everyone has boobs.
Because I wore a pasty.
And you're like, "It's just a boob."
I was like, "It's okay." He's like, "Ma, are we really gonna do this, Ma? Are we doing this?"
What is that? Who is that? That's Swiss.
It must
Who
be.
is that? Yeah,
It has to be. He's my protector. Dad always says, "You protecting Mom, right?" He takes it serious.
Clearly. So cute. Such a cute kid. My God.
Oh man, I love that boy.
It sounds like you're like a great mom. So how is that like? We should talk about the parenting part of that. Is
Right.
that? I know we've talked since you've been a mom, but
Right.
now you're like a seasoned mom.
I feel like,
You have
Are
two.
you ever a I think, are you ever a seasoned mom? You definitely have more experience for sure. But I feel like it's constantly a conundrum, don't you? It's like constantly something that
Yes.
you're bumping up against something you haven't quite been with before. And even if I've been through it with Egypt, I haven't, like, Genesis's way of
Yeah.
expressing is so different.
Yeah.
And even all the kids, like, I've always felt blessed because together we have 5 kids. And so I have like older kids that I've experienced what it's gonna be like. Okay, this is how 16 is gonna be. Or this is what 13 is gonna be like. Now Egypt's 13. And it's a little different. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you're ever seasoned, but I do feel a lot more, like aware of how I wanna talk with them and express with them and things like that.
No, and then also they're not the same person who they are 2 years from now. So you think you got them down
Right,
and you
you're
know
like, okay,
how to
I know
manage
him.
them, and then they become somebody else in a couple of years, and you have to kind of
Get to know
relearn
them.
and as
and then
we
so
go.
are you. Like I'm also another person.
That's true.
From
Right,
2
because,
years.
Because mothers are actually
People.
also humans.
We're-
We are also people evolving. This is absolutely true.
So to kind of put that all together is it's amazing. And I mean, sometimes there's so much going on, and I need bed at a certain time, and I need to make sure the homework is at this time, and then they're sitting there doing something, and they're cracking up laughing, and I'm like, I need y'all to da 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 da. And I look back on it and I'm like, why didn't I just laugh too?
Yeah.
Like, couldn't I just have laughed too and then we'd have just got on with it? Like I made it almost take longer to just, so it's like, I think you kind of look at yourself too and you realize how you can kind of let certain things go or whatever you need to do.
Do you let your kids see you vulnerable? Like, I had this, who was it? We had Kelly Clarkson on the show. And she went through a divorce and she was talking about, she went through a really hard time. And she let her kids, not too much, but just enough so that she would explain mommy's sad. And she operates under, some parents don't. Some parents believe in like...
Shielding,
yeah. And there's like a fine line, I guess. But are you like, how are you with, it seems like you would be leaning towards vulnerable with your kids.
I feel like it's really important to be able to learn how to have relationships with your emotions, and I think especially as boys, a lot of times we make boys have to be so like Teflon and we think that that's how a man expresses or how a boy expresses. And I do think that for all of us, because I think as women as well, we also feel like we have to be Teflon. We got to put on the armor and no, let's not get penetrated. And I think that develops an unhealthy relationship with our emotions. We can't access them. And I personally went through that. I experienced that where I just could not access my emotions. I did not know how to share what I actually felt, truly. I knew how to share the like version of it that was
the words,
but I couldn't properly, truly express it in a way that felt as raw as I felt it on the inside. And I thought that I had to learn how to practice to put to words my real feelings as opposed to holding them in. And so I really feel like having a relationship with your emotions is important.
Yeah.
I'm not overly emotional, so, I think that's just a natural balance that I have.
Yeah.
But the other day I boo-hooed in the car with Genesis. He looked at me like,
oh.
You had to see his face. He was like, I'm sorry that I didn't do it, and I should have been more, and I really apologize and he instantly, and I was not doing that for him to feel bad or to have to apologize to me, but it just was how I felt, and it just was like, I was overwhelmed at the moment. He was like, I never saw you cry like that before, Mom. And for 10 days after, Mom, remember when you just started crying? Like I never saw you cry like that before, Mom. And it touched him, and I think that, that's a part of just IRL.
Real life,
it
happens. What could trigger something like that? Is that a bad day?
I was personally overwhelmed. Actually, for him, I felt like there was a lot of things going on that I was just needing to come to terms with, like with school and some different things. And I just felt like I was uncomfortable with where it was circling, and I felt out of control. I felt like I was not able to have a handle on it to the way that I wanted to. And to see him feel uncomfortable about certain things made me uncomfortable. And when I couldn't kind of get it under control, it just like, I was like, I don't have control of this.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like felt, overwhelming in that way. And I don't know, it just came out.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It just came out.
And he just adores you too, so he was probably like, what? It's happening.
He was like, whoa. But, man, it's crazy how the emotions that we feel for them, it's wild. Like, you never thought you'd feel like that. No, it's super wild.
I was just talking about that, and I was telling you this before. You're not ready for when they have to go.
I'm not ready.
Have you prepared at all?
No, I'm not ready.
It's, okay, sorry.
I'm not ready. Okay. So tell me how it goes.
You want me to tell you how it goes?
Yeah, how does it go?
I was fully depressed for 6 months before he left for college. Because I was mentally preparing myself to be, like, I just was so sad. It was just him and I for a while. Then my bonus baby came in. Now I have 2 there. But the idea of like my firstborn, my baby, like leaving was traumatic for me. So for 6 months, I was super depressed before he left. And then I was telling my girlfriend, I think it was, Shaka Pilgrim. I was telling Shaka, I was like, oh God, I got to take him to school. I'm going to be a mess. I'm going to cry when I drop him off. She was like, no, you're not.
Right.
I was like, what do you mean? No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm very emotional about this. She was like, imagine how, for him, like going into a new space, new school, new this, about how challenging that is for him.
Right.
Why do you want to make that more dramatic and more? And I was like,
that was
you're right. Wasn't that a good friend?
That was a good friend.
And so then I just kind of held myself together. I went there, we set him up, we set the room, and I left. And I realized though, So after that, I realized they don't leave you. They're still there all the time.
Calling you every
FaceTiming me
second.
all the time. Yeah, like he's still
asking you for 1,000 things.
all the time.
It's cool.
It's fine. No, they don't. They're still your children.
Yeah,
But so maybe
beautiful.
you won't be sad for 6 months. Maybe yours will be 3 months now, 2 months, knowing that it'll be okay on the other side.
I do know it'll be okay, but it's a big change, man. It's
Yeah.
like you literally hold them. They can't do anything without you. You plan your entire existence, every move you make around them being good. And then they don't need you. And it's kind of crazy.
It's kind of fucked up.
It's kind of crazy. But they do need you.
No,
Point
they do.
is,
They always
need
do.
you.
No, they always do.
And
for
I think
sure.
forever they'll need to call you and make sure, and just like you're their mama. There's only one mama.
And people don't talk enough about too, like the partner you choose and how you parent together. Did you have any challenges with that, or are you just kind of in line with that, or how do
I
you
feel
guys
like-
manage that?
I feel like we do really well. We're really in a beautiful sync, just naturally. Like our flow has a good sync. And I think that on the parenting side, he's really good at, he definitely knows when it's time to step in, because he's like, you know what they need? Some dad energy. Sometimes you need dad energy.
Yes.
But he's really good we are really good at being kind of a good flow. Like, what's gonna work best for this particular this child? Because each one's so different, so you can't just like do the same thing all the time.
For sure.
So I think we're good at kind of that flow, and I think he knows that I have great instincts there too, and so he's like, well, what do you think? And if I say, listen, I know your normal instinct would be this, but let's approach it like this.
Yeah.
And he'll be open for it.
Do you ever bump heads? Do you ever disagree on parenting? And how do you manage that? Everybody does. You can't tell me you don't.
I was trying to think of like how.
A time?
Yeah, I think it's more about communicating about our own needs. Because I think sometimes you spend so much time making sure the kids' needs are met that you do have to make sure that the relationship between the kids and the parents don't eliminate the parents' needs. You know what I mean? And so I think in those ways are the ways that we're communicative, and it's like, I'm noticing this pattern and it's starting to feel uncomfortable. What should we do?
How did you learn to do that? You grew up with just your mom.
Yeah.
So who taught you that?
Right?
What did you therapy?
I honestly haven't really. I did like a life coach thing. That was helpful.
Okay. What's the biggest? Yes,
I
whatever it
actually feel
takes.
like I might be a
life
life
coach?
coach. I feel like I could be a life
Yeah.
coach in some way. But yeah, no, I think that I don't know. I think maybe just recognizing how when you can express, again, I think it comes back to me not having a great connection with my own emotions. And so when I started to realize how toxic that could be.
What does that mean though exactly? Like what is it?
So what I was saying was, thank you.
Give me an example. Yeah.
Remember I was talking before and I was saying like I was such a pleaser that I was disconnected to how I actually felt. And so I would be so like, well, what do they like? What do they think? Is this good for, whatever choice I'm making in my career? Oh, they approve of that. Oh, they like the thing I did, the thing I wore, the thing I said, the whatever. And I would be so outwardly that I noticed that became toxic because I didn't have a relationship with myself to be able to say, no, here's what I feel. Here's what I actually feel. Just, this is what I feel. I don't know, you might hate what I feel, but I feel this. And to actually be able to verbalize and say that wasn't so easy for me. So I started to practice that more. And because of that practice, that's what started to make, I think, Swiss and I even more able to communicate better. Because I was able to say, no, this is how I feel. And I know it's important. If I don't tell you how I feel, and if you don't tell me how you feel, that's when it just goes wrong. So that part, I think, got us to be able to communicate.
That's dope, because a lot of people do that. I think that's a pretty common thing to do. It's like bury how you feel and not have confidence in it. And also feeling like you trust somebody to give them all of that. But what is the practice of that? How do you snap out of that?
For me, I think the practice, because this is what I think, for me, this is what happened. I don't know what happens. I don't know how it goes for you. But like, I might find myself in a conversation.
Yeah.
And everyone's different. Some people react right away. Some people need to digest things. So, everybody's different, right?
Yeah.
I find myself, whatever the case, I find myself in a conversation, someone says something to me and my stomach goes,
Ooh, I don't like that. Yeah.
and something hurt. I'm like, ooh, whatever. The way they said that, like that didn't feel right for me. What did that mean? Or why would they have said it like that? Or why did it feel like they referenced back something old that we already settled, but it came back? Whatever it might be. Now, in that moment, maybe I don't bring it up. Maybe I'm just like listening, or I felt it, but I didn't want to make it a big deal. We're at a thing, whatever.
Right.
But if I have felt that zing, then I make it a point to come back to that. And I will say, hey, can I talk with you? We were talking the other day and you said, and it just felt like you were like coming at me and it didn't feel right. And I just wanted to ask you, like, what did you mean? Because maybe I read it wrong. I don't want to take it out of context. What made you say that? And then they can have a place to speak to me about it.
That's
and I
good.
can have a place to, but I found in the past I would just hold it, feel it, and then, create potential resentment or whatever.
Yeah.
Over something that I don't even know if that's exactly what they meant.
That's so good. I think sometimes I think I do that sometimes, but I think sometimes what happens is like you say, I might not do it right there, but then I'm over it. And so then I don't say
Right.
anything, which is not always good either. Sometimes I just kind of blow past things, and I think you're right. I think you have to get to it.
And obviously it depends on who. Is
Yeah,
it like
who and
Joe
what.
Blow? Okay, whatever.
Who cares?
We don't exactly have to pay attention to that. We can move on. But if it's somebody who like really plays an important part in your life,
Yeah.
I think it's that. So that's the type of practice I started to do. That started to get me more comfortable with being able to share.
Yeah, that's
In that
good.
way.
That's a good practice.
Right?
Yes, and it's healthy.
Yeah.
And
Because I do
free.
that same thing. Because I can let things roll off my back. I'm not very I don't hold on to stuff and harvest
Yeah.
stuff, so I think. But then times come and you realize stuff is coming up for you and you're like, oh, I'm mad. But I didn't think I was mad. I thought it was fine, but it wasn't.
I'm big mad.
I'm mad.
Because I let that thing
I'm
sit.
irritated. I'm festering now.
You know what was super inspiring to me as we're talking about this and I'm thinking about the musical last night? I had heard that it took you 10 years. Well, Swiss said that to me last night. Swiss was like, she's been working on this for 15 years. Is that true?
It's
He's exaggerated?
It's somewhere between 10 and 13.
Okay, well, that's good. That's a long time.
It's a long time.
That was inspiring to me because sometimes I start a project or I have an idea and it'll sit or I don't know, I just can't get it across the finish line, and then I always wonder, did I miss the moment on it, or did I miss the, because I heard one time too, Oprah said, always finish what you start. But then also sometimes I feel like you start something, if it's not working for you.
Yeah. You have, I mean, you have
Get
to
out
be.
of here. But you believed in it. You took it all the way. You came back to it. I'm sure left it, came back.
I think the thing about this world, this theater world, my mother left Toledo, Ohio, to come to study at NYU, and she is that New York story. She is that one that came from somewhere else with a dream to do a thing, and in a lot of ways, I always felt like she had to sacrifice that part of her life for me. So when I am able to kind of create these creative endeavors and do them, I think about the fact that it's her dream too. Her dream and my dream are intertwined, and so when I think about particularly in the theater, because she took me as a kid to TKTKS, the super cheap tickets so we could buy a ticket to whatever show and watch it together. You know what I mean? I think about this, and now when we've been able to create Hell's Kitchen, this is in a way the accumulation of this dream that she had at 19. So it really makes me very emotional, and it makes me really it makes this so much worth it. You really see through Hell's Kitchen that it ultimately is a love story between a mother and a daughter. And I think
Your mother must have been emotional wreck the first time she saw it.
I know me too.
You too, yeah. What did you learn? What did you heal from that?
I think one of the things that I really have seen, my personal growth, it came up yesterday, is that my father and I, although my mother raised me, my father and I had a journey to get through to really find our way to our own relationship that had to happen in its own time. And I'm very proud of seeing the way that we have been able to meet each other where we are. And so you do get a glimpse of, in Hell's Kitchen, of the relationship between Allie and her mother, and her mother and Allie and her father. And for me, you can see the growth of that relationship personally.
Yeah.
And I feel really, really, I'm proud of that. And I feel like that's something that's important for people to know, that there is ways to grow through things that may have been challenging.
What is the key to that, to mending a relationship like that? Or is it mending even, or it's just, you said meeting each other where we are?
It is mending.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it, kind of. I think the first part for me was like really being able to, we think relationships are supposed to be a certain way. You think of a father-daughter relationship and you think of a certain relationship. That person's supposed to have raised you. They're supposed to have lived with you. Maybe they married the parent, the other parent. There was some type of long-standing thing, and this is how we see it. But every relationship is not the same. So I think at a certain point we have in our head the way a relationship is supposed to play out. And if it doesn't look like that in our lives, we somehow feel bad about it. We feel like that something has gone wrong. Now, there are plenty of things that maybe could have been better, for sure. But just because he didn't raise me doesn't mean that we can't have our own relationship. I wasn't ready for that at a certain point, you know what I mean? And he wasn't either. But then when you realize, okay, so maybe he's not daddy. Okay. I could admit, but we can be friends. Like, we can get to know each other. We can actually have a relationship, our own relationship that we define in our own way. He is my father. It's the truth, and I would like to have a good relationship with him. So I think taking out the expectations of what it's supposed to be and meeting it where it actually is, if you can. If you can't, then don't. You shouldn't. And I did that too. I said, you know what, I'm not ready to meet it here. I'm not able to do that. That happened too. But when I was, and it was able to be natural and genuine, and I was able to be open-hearted enough, and so is he, and then we communicate, you know, then you find, wow, I do understand that. Oh, I can see that.
It's probably so freeing too, right?
Wow, it takes a load off. It takes a big load off. Because I think a lot of times we hold all this anger and expectation for things and people, but who's feeling that anger? You. Who's being affected by that anger? You. Who's crumbling under that anger? You. The other person doesn't even have a damn clue what you feel. They go off living their life great as ever, but you are crushed under this anger and pain that you're holding on to. So I think when we can let that go and kind of say, again, that doesn't mean that we have to, it's valid. These things come from a place. They deserve to be rectified, you know, but if you could let it go, then maybe you can start from a new place. So that's what I think is some of the key.
Because we always hear that. You gotta let it go. You can't hold on to anger. We hear terms like that, but literally how to do that is where people get
tripped up.
Yes,
like,
because it's emotion. I don't know how to do that. But I love what you said about just meeting people where they are. Like, okay, this is our story. So here we are. It's, you know.
Right.
I think that's a good tool and just a good kind of understanding of getting there. So good for you. By the way, the actor's unbelievable.
Yes.
Who plays him. Now that you've done this, like, you have done it. You've done it big. You are a household name, my friend. You really are. You ever think of, like, you're a household name. There's nobody that I could say, Alicia Keys is on my podcast, and they go, who is she? There's nobody that does that. Like, you've done it.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
Wow.
And you're still to me, I don't know, maybe just because we have a relationship, but you don't seem to.
You know me.
I know. You seem to manage that level of fame, at least from the outside, really well. Like, you seem to have a good core group. I guess family probably helps with that, right?
Yeah, I do. I think family, you know, I think it's also like where I came from.
Yes.
That also instilled that in me. And by you know, not to mention the fact that if you know my mother, you know she will.
Has she ever done that? Has she ever said to you, like, you are feeling yourself,
Oh yeah,
she will?
She was like, you need, just good for you. This keep you humble. Like she'll say things like that. That'll keep you humble. And she's right.
You want to be humble.
You do have to kind of like keep things in perspective.
But do you ever be in your bag sometimes?
I definitely be in my bag. That don't mean that I can't be on my shit. I can still be on my shit. And
what lifts you up? When do you most feel like you're in your bag? What is the circumstances that would?
I feel like what I'm recognizing is I can really be in my bag when I have a really strong team. I feel the most in my bag. Like, just recently this summer I did the Keys to the Summer tour, and I felt like I reunited with one of my favorite directors named Angie Martinez. She did the If I Ain't Got You video. She did the Like You'll Never See Me Again video. And we connected, to create the stage show for Keys to the Summer. And I just felt like she so understood a side of me, and she has such a strength in herself that it allowed me to be in my bag because the team that I was assembling just felt like strong. That's the same way I feel with Hell's Kitchen. I feel that same way. It's a strong team. Everyone holds their weight, and so I can be in my bag. We can all be in our bag because there's like equal sharing of the responsibility. That's when I feel the most in my bag. Sometimes when you have to carry all the weight and do all the things you're like, you can't quite get in your bag because you got to do.
You're speaking to my soul right now, just so we're clear. Brittany, is she not speaking to our soul? So we be trying. Sometimes I just have all these ideas of things I want to do, and I don't have the resources, so I pile it on myself, or I have like a small team, a very small team, and so sometimes you overextend yourself, and there's no way to deliver. Right. Or to be, like you say, in your bag when you're like spread thin like that is hard.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, and I've been there many times. I mean, my team will understand too. We're pretty small as well.
Yeah.
And there came a time where we were like, okay, we have to say no. We have to say more no's.
Talk to me about no.
Okay.
When do you say no?
First of all, I realized because you're ambitious.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I try to balance, though. I am ambitious.
And that's a blessing because you have ideas, you have things, you're motivated, you're inspired, it's on so many levels, which is such a blessing. But then you have to realize if I can't execute this in the manner that I would expect of myself, then I have to say no. And if I'm putting too much on my team, because now we've already said yes to far too many things, we have to say no. So we have started a practice where we were like, okay, this has to be a no because it's gonna take us
Does it ever
too
break
far.
your heart? Have you ever made a mistake in a no? Have you ever something you're like, I should have did it?
No, but I felt many times when I was like, I shouldn't have did it.
more regret when you do.
More regret. I'm like, I knew this wasn't it. And my spirit said, don't do it.
Yeah.
And now here I am
doing it.
And I'm mad. I'm not in my joy. Like I feel frustrated, you know? So I do feel like the no's are, as part of the relationship of practicing to speak my truth, I have learned to also trust my gut. And I know what yes feels like. I know what yes feels like. I'm very clear about what yes feels like. And I know how it feels when it's a maybe. And I know what it feels like when it's like, it's not really a no, but I think that it's gonna make a few people happy, so I make it turn into a yes because I think that it's gonna be nice for those people. But it's not a yes, it's a no. It wasn't a yes, it was a maybe. And so if it's not a yes, then it's a no.
I don't know whatever you just said, I'm gonna put in a little clip and put it to remind myself like this when I'm saying yes to too many things. That's gonna be like my reminder.
Bring up the Alicia clip.
I can't repeat it exactly what you said, but I know it was important, and I know I need to hear that again. I know I need to rewind that and press play on that for the no's and the maybes and the yeses.
Right. So, but I feel you, man.
Let's talk about, it's the holiday season. People are dealing with all types of family, holiday season vibes in their home. Some people get very excited and very holiday-ish.
Yes.
Some people stresses them out. I just wonder what your family dynamic, because from the gram. I mean, I know you personally, but like from the gram, your family looks like they have the greatest time ever at every occasion.
Yeah, well, that's right. Which is tricky, right? That's
the highlights.
whole tricky thing about any social media.
What is the family dynamic of the Alicia Keys holiday season?
Well, first of all,
break it down. Let me visualize.
Any family situation, what you need to do is get this Diary of Alicia Keys 20 vinyl.
Oh yes, perfect.
Playing in the background.
See what you did there?
At your functions.
It will fix whatever is wrong.
Whatever's going on, whatever stress you might be feeling, whatever like uncertainty it's just gonna wipe it away.
Yeah.
You're gonna be good. And if you don't know what to get somebody as a gift,
oh, look at that. For the holiday season.
So
look at that.
Just saying.
Is there music in the house?
That's at our house, it's awesome. I think it's really cool. We have a really big family, as you know.
I know. You have a blended family.
You have a beautiful, big, blended, awesome family.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, all of us, it's kind of like all of us kind of pass through. We have different moments that we're together. We do this I'm big into rituals.
Tell me about your ritual. Give us one or two.
We do this pre-Christmas ritual.
Okay.
And it happens on Christmas Eve, and we make each other handmade gifts. Now everybody wants to kill me because they're like, honestly, we gotta do this again this year. And I say, yes, we have to do it because it's special. And every time we do it, it does bring up something unique. And we gather together and we all have to kind of present what we made. And you pull the name, and sometimes you know that person really well, and sometimes you don't. And that's kind of cool because you're like, okay, well, what would this person like, and how could I get to know them a little bit better, and what can I make with my own hands that will not be stupid, and that the person might enjoy.
Give me an example. What is something you made? Like, when did you kill it?
All right, well, I'll tell you when I killed
Okay,
it.
go tell me.
But maybe it's something as simple as like you have a beautiful printed picture and you put it into a frame that you kind of decorated with something.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe it's something like that.
Okay.
The time that I killed it, it was for Genesis. I got Genesis. And I decided to make this kind of sculpture of this anime that they love, and I created the tree so that he could have his like characters and he could play in this main tree. I think it was either One Piece or Hunter x Hunter or one of them. So I made the tree and it was ill. I made the whole base of it and I had to paint it, and there's like a whole sea around it. So we did this whole technique with kind of like the stones and the thing and the sea.
I'm thinking you're like making little cards with your hands. You make it like a whole.
It was a tree and the sea that was the anime that he could play his little toys in, and I was like, oh, I won.
Bodied this.
I killed this. Of course, I didn't never see him play with it, not one time. Not like all that, it's in the corner of the room.
It doesn't take away from the fact that you killed it.
I did kill it,
You
though.
killed it. That's really funny. What is the greatest lesson you've learned in marriage about yourself? What has marriage taught you about yourself?
Wow, okay.
Because really, that's what they say it is.
Wow,
it's
so
really
a mirror.
It's a mirror, right? It's like nothing makes you work on yourself more than living a life with somebody else, right?
Wow, it's so good. This question is really good. Thank you. I definitely know that I'm an organizer, and I enjoy that. I really like to create the space for the time that we need. And I learned that I'm really good at that, and I have to constantly not let that go. Like that's a really important thing that I'm good at, and that I think it really it helps us to flourish, because it's easy to be so busy, it's easy to be distracted, it's easy to be working hard. So to make
realize
sure
how important
we have
that is.
our thing is like
That's your thing.
paramount.
That's
it's something I'm good at.
Yeah.
And we're good at it, but I'm really good at
But
making
was there
sure
anything you
time-
had to fix about yourself? Because I feel like that is a thing. Like for me, one of the things in my relationship I learned about myself is that I would internalize, I'm an empathetic person, right? Like my friends, I want to help them if I can, and I would carry it and then bring it home. And I never knew that about myself until somebody had to point it out to me.
Right.
Somebody
It's like,
close to you teaches you something about yourself, or just And so I realized that, and it's actually been really helpful in my life to be able to like be there, still be there and be empathetic, but let it kind of almost things go through me as opposed to like holding everybody's
energy,
stuff.
issues, things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's like, for me, that was one thing. I just wonder if you have any of those experiences where he put like a mirror to you, like, hey, maybe you want to work on this.
I think I have to continue to work on, and I've seen that I have to work on being just better at being a little more still. Like I'm a doer, I'm a getter, I'm a thinger, I'm a fixer, I'm an organizer, I'm a thinger, I'm a goer, I'm a... And I think that I've seen that I have to get better at being like, it's okay that you're just like...
But he's the same way.
He's definitely the same way.
He can't tell you that you're not that. He's the same. He's more, I think, more than you.
But I think he's good at, like, when he's home, he's good at kind of like being able to be easy. He can like sleep in the bed. He'll rest until 10, 11, 12. Me, I'm like 6 a.m. I'm ready, boom, 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 boom. He's like, we're gonna need a little, like, give me until 12 p.m. I need it like at least till 12. And I need it too, you know what I mean? So I think that being able to just kind of like be still, like be still, not actually activate and execute all the things, just kind of like be still in the space together is really nice. And that's something that I always have to be like, wait, stop trying to do all the things. I'm trying to plan all the things. I'm trying to do it.
Calm your ass down.
Schedule all the things.
How happy are you on a scale of 1 to 10 today?
Today, I'm definitely, I'm at a fucking 10.
Really?
I am.
Is that all the time for you, mostly?
All the time? No, that's not all the time.
No, I know, but is that a common thing? Some people say they have never got to a 10. Some people like keep a 10 reserved.
I was gonna go 8, 9.
Okay.
I was. That was my first instinct.
You gotta be honest. That's the first thing. You gotta be honest.
Instinct was like 8, 9, and
Okay.
I felt like when I checked in with myself, I felt that I was not honoring my joy, and I think that it is very important that when we're feeling joyful, that we can say we're feeling joyful. I think it's so easy to say this is not good and I'm not happy and this is not going well. And that happens too. And there's plenty of that too that I could pull out and be like, well, this isn't that good. Yeah. But I'm feeling joyful, I'm feeling grateful. I was thinking about this celebrating this milestone with diary. I was thinking about launching something that I've been working on so long with Hell's Kitchen. I was thinking about the love I have for my family, my husband, my son being there with me, my hubby being here with me, and I feel healthy. I'm sitting with my friend. He's actually here. He might not be here right now, but he was. I'm sitting here with my friends. We're talking. We're together. We're well. Our minds are intact. Our spirits are good.
In real life, what do you pray for most?
Me, I pray for clarity.
That's mine.
We're twins.
I hate being confused.
I know.
I hate not knowing and not. It's like if I know I can figure out a plan of action, or I know how to show up. If I don't have clarity, I feel it's
crazy.
chaos.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's a great prayer.
Yeah, clarity, and peace, safety.
It's good. Those are good. In real life, what are you most proud of about yourself?
In real life, I am most proud that I am a normal human being. I am the most proud that I'm like, you know, I feel like people can meet me, see me, talk to me, build with me. They're gonna know that I am their sister. I am that same energy. I have not shifted that energy. The energy will always be there. I am very proud of that. I think that's easy to lose.
Yes. You are a household name, you know.
You reminded me.
You could easily be, you know
just
what I mean?
a big-headed, annoying human, and I'm not with it. I'm just not even with it at all.
That would not be good for anyone.
No.
In real life, how important is money to you?
Obviously, you know, money does help a lot of things, but for me, that's not where wealth is. To me, that's not wealth. That's not rich. To me, like your sanity is where your wealth is. Your health, man, there's nothing more important than you being able to be healthy. You know, that is your wealth, to be able to, you know, wake up and have all your wits about you. And love, like real love, genuine, that thing that's real, not based on something that you have or gonna get, but something that who you just are on a Wednesday in your pajamas with nothing. You know, those are the things. That's wealth. That's being rich.
That's the
and
thing.
so I'm very clear about that.
In real life, what are your triggers or your pet peeves? Like, what is something that would take you that number 10 down quick? What is the thing?
Some of my pet peeves.
You want to know one of mine?
Yeah, what's yours?
I don't like people trying to manipulate me in any way.
Ooh.
Somebody tell me half a story because they trying to make me do. Because I see you from up the block, fam.
Yeah.
Now you just pissed me off. You didn't have to piss me off. You could have just asked me for what you needed me to do. Because 9 times out of 10, if I can, I would have
say
did it.
yes.
But when you try to, I don't know why that is trigger. I probably should figure that out. But it's for sure a trigger for me. It will literally make me not like someone. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Like I could go from like, oh, they seem like a nice person to like, I don't like them.
That's a good one. That's a
real one for me.
That's a right one.
Yeah.
Man, what's one of my triggers?
Swiss probably knows.
I feel like one of my triggers are like, I need you to do what you said you're gonna do. Like I do what I say I'm gonna do. So when people can't meet me where I meet them, that triggers me. I'm like, you said you were gonna do that. You should do what you say you're gonna do. You know, that's a big one for me. Or don't say it. Just don't say something that you can't do. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it.
I just thought of little Allie in the play and her dad saying she's coming to the thing. That's probably what that's rooted in.
I think it might come a little bit from there. A little bit.
And then in real life, what do you hope people take from your story and what you put out in the world? Like, or even this conversation today, like when you make things, where do you hope they land?
Yeah, man, I hope that they land in people's hearts. I feel like I just want people to feel the genuineness, the care, and the pure energy that goes into it, because I think that we're receiving a lot of messages that are filled with like not pure intention. You know what I mean? And so I would love for people to just take away that there is that genuineness, there is that authentic energy, that we can be. We can be who we actually are. We don't have to put on a bunch of acts and phony and fake it down and up. We can just be, you are special, just how you are. And so I would love that my comfort in who I am reminds somebody that they are incredible exactly how they are. And we can respect and love each other and like applaud and uplift each other. Because I think that would change a lot.
I love that.
Oh, I love this. I had so much fun with you.
Me too.
I love this platform that you're giving for this natural conversation. And thank you for just being such a supporter of me and the art and assistant to me.
Oh, I adore you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, Mama. Alicia Keys, everybody.
Hey.
The household name was here.